friends, it's Miss Melinda from Charleston First Church of the Nazarene, coming at you from beautiful downtown Charleston, West Virginia. Good evening to you, good evening to you, good evening, I love you, good evening to all of my Storytime friends. I'm so glad you decided to join me for this week's Bible story. And we've got a really good one, friends. I got a brand new book, and I'm really excited about it. It is the Little Children's Bible Storybook. Isn't that exciting? And since we've got a new book full, look how many Bible stories we have, just full of God's Word. We're going to start at the very beginning and work our way through. Isn't that great, friends? So make sure you join me each week as we read a brand new story. So today's story comes from the Old Testament. The Old Testament. These are the stories before the birth of Jesus. And it's called God Makes the World. From Genesis 1 through 3. God makes the world. Look at all of the wonderful things that God created when He made the earth. This is going to be a great story, friends. Close your eyes. Hold your breath. Shh. There was nothing in the beginning except for God. Did you close your eyes and hold your breath? Let's try it again, friends. Nothing. Can you imagine? Just the blackness. Turn the light off and turn the light on. God took the darkness and changed it so that suddenly there was light. So where once there was nothing, God brought the sun. God made the earth. He made the sun and the moon, all the planets and the stars. How many stars? 1, 2, 3, 4. God made more and more and more and more and more. There are an infinite number of stars, friends. That means so many stars that we could never ever count them all if we started today and counted for the rest of our lives. Can you imagine something so big and so immense? I know I can't, but for God, anything is possible. God made the oceans and the seas. He made the fish and more and more and more fish. The oceans were just teeming with life. Make your face look like a fish. Whoops, you were asking for a kiss. God made the land and made animals and more and more and more animals. Which is your favorite animal? You are God's favorite. Isn't that amazing, friends? Of all the things that God made, He took the darkness and brought in the light and made billions and billions of stars and more fish and more animals than we could ever count. Do you know that more animals have gone extinct? That means they've passed away and there are no more left. More animals have gone extinct than live on the earth today. But of all those millions and billions of animals and fish, what was His favorite animal? And what's still God's favorite animal today? Us. And if He so cares for the little bird of the field, imagine how much He loves us. When God had finished making, He then made the first man, and He called him Adam. God made a helper and friend for Adam and named her Eve. Just like He made you, your fingers, your toes, and your smile too. So God made Adam, and so Adam wouldn't be alone. God made Eve to be his friend and his helper. Adam and Eve lived in a special garden called Eden. God had one rule: do not eat the fruit from one tree. God said no, but the serpent told Eve yes. A serpent is a snake, isn't it? And it slithers around in the dirt. The snake told Eve to go ahead, but God had said no. Should we disobey God, friends? I don't think so. But you know what? I think Eve made a poor choice. Eve chose to break the rule, and then so did Adam. This was wrong. What rules do you know, friend? In Miss Melinda's classroom, there are only 2 rules. Be sweet, which means be nice to everyone around you and be kind to yourself too. And be neat. That means to keep your body clean and healthy and to keep our area and space we share clean and nice too. Be sweet and be neat. And sometimes my friends break those rules, just like Adam and Eve broke God's rule. But do you think God stopped loving Adam and Eve just because they broke his rules? No. Just like any good parent, God was very angry that they broke his rule. But even in his anger, he never stopped loving them. What happens when you do something wrong, friend? When Adam and Eve did not listen, they had to leave Eden. They never, ever felt as close to God again. That's sad. Even though God still loved Adam and Eve, he had to give them a punishment so that they would learn. And part of that punishment was they didn't get to be as close to God anymore. And that's sad. But God went on loving Adam and Eve, just as he loves us. Though, no matter what, he always loves. God gave 2 sons to Adam and Eve. Every child is a gift from God. That means you are a big, willy, wiggly present. To whom? This is a great story for Mother's Day because you were a gift to your mother and a gift to your family. Every baby is a gift from God. And every person is made in his image and deserving of love. Isn't that an amazing story, friends? And an amazing love. And this is the end of our first story. But if you join me next week, we'll read one of my favorites, Noah and the Ark. And remember the most important part of Adam and Eve's story, friend. It's all about love. It's God's love for us, his favorite creation. And no matter what happens, he will always love you. Until we can get together again in the sanctuary and enjoy fellowship with one another and a sermon from Pastor Randy, know that your family at Elk River Church of the Nazarene and Charleston First Church of the Nazarene loves you very, very much. And we wish nothing but health and happiness for you and your family. Until next week, friends, goodbye.